In the hush before dawn, we gather our hearts to the one beyond all names. Something remarkable is coming to upend your reality. Chosen ones, take a look at yourself now. Take a peek. Random suffering did not earn those war scars. For this very instant, these are the exact marks of someone who has been forged in cosmic fire. Every restless night, when you persevered when others gave up, your spirit knew that the harder path was the only one, so you took it each time. It has all been preparation for what is going to happen, even when you felt like Atlas was carrying the weight of unattainable aspirations. Comfort does not generate chosen ones in the universe. It produces them by applying deliberate pressure that would crush normal souls, but turns extraordinary souls into something that can withstand frequencies that are incomprehensible to most people. The final phase of a cosmic initiation that has been developing for years is what you have been understanding as burnout. The fatigue is not a sign of weakness. It's proof that you've been functioning at a level that would put lesser spirits in the hospital. Here's the information you must download right away, though. The rules you've been following are no longer applicable because the game has changed. The very thing standing in the way of their own triumph parade is the warrior who refuses to acknowledge when the battle is won. The universe is currently working feverishly to gain your attention as these words enter your consciousness, because what's about to happen calls for you to change from earning mode to receiving mode. And that change must occur immediately. Everything I'm teaching you is about to cause a nervous system revolt. Right now, the part of you that has been trained to see rest as weakness, to see quiet as surrender, and to think that your value is determined by your production is screaming warnings. It's warning you that everything will fall apart if you stop pushing. If you lose control, mayhem will result. You will be forgotten if you stop performing. There's a reason for this reluctance. Abundance feels like a foreign language because it is the predictable reaction of a consciousness that has spent so much time functioning at survival frequency. Although your internal alarm system was created to protect you from threats that no longer exist, it is unable to distinguish between real danger and the vulnerability that comes with being given presents that have never been seen before. The cosmic joke is that your greatest strength, your capacity to keep going when others give up, to see possibilities where others see impossibilities, and to have faith when the evidence points to despair, has turned into the very thing keeping you from realizing that you have already reached the summit of the mountain you have been climbing. Friend, if this message stirred your faith, take a bold but simple step today. Tap the YouTube Super Thanks and sow $20, $50, or more as the Lord leads, not to buy a blessing but to align with His promises. Seeds look small, yet God makes them mighty. What leaves your hand never leaves your life. As you give, expect clarity, favor, and open doors to meet you on the path of obedience. Stand joyful, stay thankful, and look for increase. Give, and it will be given to you. Luke 6 verse 38. You have to stop rising and start rejoicing when you see the vista from the summit. However, rejoicing is seen as immature, risky, and foolish by warrior awareness. This is what your hyperactive mind is unable to comprehend. You've been working out like a pro every day, ignoring rest days, pushing through muscular weariness, and obsessing over small victories while failing to see the bigger picture. You've mistaken rest with regression, even as your spiritual muscles are aching for some downtime. Bodybuilders who work out nonstop without rest experience breakdown rather than progress, because they are so busy pouring bricks. The entrepreneur who never backs off from their invention is unable to perceive the empire they have created. You've developed an addiction to the battle itself, the drama of the pursuit, the rush of conquering challenges, and the reputation you've earned for never giving up. These have grown so commonplace that rest feels like giving up, receiving feels like cheating, and peace feels like dying. What if, however, everything you've accomplished by force has been preparing you to deal with what grace brings? What happens if the muscle you've built up via resistance training is precisely what you need to support the weight with previously unheard of ease? But the selected ones don't follow the norm. You must now trust the intellect that has led you this far to guide you through the next step, which is the same force that has been pushing you in this direction despite all reason, evidence, and reasonable expectations. The universe didn't put this much effort into your growth just to leave you when it was time to harvest. Not a single one of the synchronicity events that have been occurring more frequently in recent weeks has been a coincidence. That the celestial machinery is aligning itself for your breakthrough has been confirmed. Everything has been pointing toward this moment, when everything comes together to create something so indisputable that even your doubtful mind will have to submit to the wonder of divine timing. This includes every conversation that seemed to echo your thoughts, every sign that appeared precisely when you needed reassurance, and every door that opened just as another was closing. Expression is restricted and words feel trapped, as if something enormous is attempting to surface, but is unable to do so because of the limitations imposed by ongoing stress. This isn't arbitrary. It's a defense mechanism that keeps you from expressing your truth before the world is ready. But now that the audience for your message has finally come together, that protection process is ready to be turned off. Your voice has been built on a platform. Your wisdom's amplification has been set up. Insomnia is not the cause of your recent sleep disturbance. Cosmic downloads are being installed when you're most responsive. Upgrades have been coming into your consciousness that can only be digested when your analytical mind is not online. The fatigue is not a sign of weakness. It's the inevitable result of your operating system undergoing spiritual surgery. The frequencies that would have short-circuited your former arrangement are being handled by rewiring you. There's more to the upcoming historical week than just another 7 days on the calendar. Everything you've been manifesting will be delivered in a concentrated burst of abundance that will completely rewrite your perception of what is possible. It's a cosmic event that has been planned since before you took your first breath. It's not a random time. It has been calculated with such accuracy that quantum physicists would be envious. As rivers pour into the ocean, several revenue streams are currently merging to become your reality. You will be shocked by the size of the dividends that will soon be paid for the labor you have been performing, the seeds you have been sowing, and the bridges you have been constructing while others slept. When it comes to chosen ones, the universe doesn't mince words. When it does deliver, it does so with exponentially compound interest. Because you've been used to being misinterpreted, the notoriety that has been growing behind the scenes is ready to burst into public awareness that will feel overpowering. Your zeal, your refusal to settle for mediocrity, and your capacity to look beyond your present limitations, qualities that made you seem obsessed to others, will soon be exposed as precisely what makes you indispensable in the rising new paradigm. When your body wants to use the restroom, you're going to cease holding it. When your stomach rumbles, stop putting off meals. Quit pursuing mental objectives at the expense of your physical necessities. This goes beyond self-care. It's about listening to the knowledge of your form, respecting the intellect of your vessel, and making room for your humanity within your divinity. It's time to treat your body like the revered temple that it is. It has been your most devoted companion on your trip. Yellow heart if you're moved by divine love. Now is the moment to share it. Click the Super Thanks button on YouTube and contribute $50 or more to help us broadcast God's blessings far and wide. Every act of generosity you make is being watched in heaven and will return to you 100-fold. However, the cash and fame are only the preludes. The love that is coming into your life with the force of a cosmic tsunami is the main event. Whether this takes the shape of a relationship changing or someone who resonates with you showing up, the universe is arranging a connection that will strengthen what you've created rather than asking you to weaken any part of your power. You've been mistreating your body, treating it like a machine that should be powered by fumes and willpower, by eating improperly, stress eating, or failing to eat at all. But your relationship with nutrients changes this week. You will suddenly discover that you are drawn to meals that not only satiate your appetite, but also meet cellular requirements you were unaware you had. You're adjusting your taste buds to your higher frequency. The force of years of stored inspiration is going to unleash the creativity that has been imprisoned behind walls of fatigue. Every concept you've set aside because you were too preoccupied with survival. Every invention you put on hold because you lacked the bandwidth. All of it is about to burst back into your mind with a lucid understanding of how to carry out each vision. This week, someone you care about is exposed for lying, not in a way that destroys, but in a way that frees you both from facades that have been draining. The timing of the truth's revelation is so flawless that it appears to have been planned, removing all doubt and making room for genuine connection. A greater level of intimacy is built on what feels like exposure. The reproductive obstacles that looked insurmountable are going to vanish like morning fog in the sunlight for those of you who have been dreaming of starting a family. This exact level of preparedness, not just physical readiness, but also the emotional, spiritual, and energetic maturity needed to guide evolved souls into physical reality, is what the universe has been waiting for. Natural law isn't being broken by the miracle you've been yearning for. It is proving that physical reality is produced by consciousness rather than the other way around. You don't comprehend how high the stakes are. This is about more than just individual fulfillment or accomplishment. All of this depends on your capacity to accept what is being offered rather than continuing to function under the premise of earning through hardship. This includes the souls selecting you as their guide into this lifetime, the individuals whose lives will be changed by the work you are about to create, and the ripple effects that will last for generations. It's the first time the cosmic portal is opening in this configuration in decades. A window of opportunity is opening up as a result of the energetic frequencies aligning. It might either propel you into previously unheard of levels of abundance, or it could pass you by while you're too preoccupied with your work to notice its arrival. The universe works in perfect time, but its selected ones must consciously participate. Your body has been attempting to convey this urgency through physical symptoms that traditional medicine is unable to explain, sleep that doesn't replenish, and fatigue that feels bone deep. This is metamorphosis, not malfunction. The caterpillar is unaware that what appears to be its disintegration is actually the transformation into a flying entity. The frequencies that your old operating system would have short-circuited are being handled by rewiring your system. You've been resisting asking for assistance because you're proud of your independence and believe that asking for aid somehow makes you less strong. However, the universe is providing you with help this week in ways you can't resist. A financial advisor who shows up just when you need help managing your many sources of income. A therapist whose schedule opens up right when you need to deal with the trauma you've been carrying while creating your empire. Those who have been skeptically following your travels are soon to see evidence that some people follow various laws. Not only will your accomplishment legitimize your path, but it will also dispel limiting assumptions that have been holding entire communities behind. Both the responsibility and the assistance being mobilized to ensure your success are huge. The voice in your head that has been listing all the mistakes, delays, and imperfections is going to become so blatantly outdated that you will no longer be able to put up with its frequent occurrences. An internal brand who sees miracles as they happen is taking the place of the internal critic who has been your constant companion. Every obstacle you've surmounted has been preparing you for this moment, when the ordinary becomes extraordinary, when years of postponed fulfillment suddenly compound into instant abundance, when faith becomes manifestation so quick that it will appear miraculous to those who don't comprehend the workings of cosmic timing. At this point, everything changes. As you read these lines, the old chronology is melting away, and the new one is solidifying all around you. Now, the warrior who has wielded the sword in every conflict must decide whether to keep fighting already won battles, or to put down his weapons, and assume the position of sovereign monarch over the realm he has successfully overrun with pure willpower. Being passive or soft is not the goal of the energy that is downloading into your consciousness. It's about understanding that genuine power functions by attraction rather than pursuit, by being rather than doing, and by magnetism rather than force. In order to access the wealth that has been building up in escrow, The same universe that needed your warrior spirit to overcome obstacles now demands your regal presence. Things that used to make you anxious are about to make you chuckle. The encounter that appeared to be so important, it felt like life or death on the deadline. That individual you felt you needed to get their approval. All of a sudden, the serious drama gives way to humorous respite. From that vantage point, everything becomes controllable, navigable, and even amusing. You are moving from being a participant in the battle to an observer of the cosmic comedy. Dove brothers and sisters, everything done in faith multiplies in God's abundance. Use the Super Thanks feature to donate $100 today and join this sacred mission. When your roots are grounded in Him, your fruit will flourish, and your offering becomes a seed that bears blessed harvests. This is going to totally change the way you interact with money. The scarcity conditioning that caused you to hoard resources, question purchases, and determine your value by deprivation is giving way to abundance consciousness, which views money as flowing energy rather than a transient substance. You will discover that you are making financial decisions based on instinct rather than fear, and that these decisions will always result in growth rather than depletion. The financial breakthrough that is taking place this week will come through unexpected avenues. Concurrent activation of several revenue streams will result in a deluge of resources, necessitating the expansion of your receiving containers. The acknowledgement will come from those whose power and influence will astound you. The love will come via doors you believed would never open again. The individual who can sleep without guilt, receive without earning, and be praised without producing will undergo the most significant internal change. You're evolving into this person in real time. A consciousness that acknowledges value as intrinsic, abundance as natural, and success as inevitable is replacing the previous identity that determined worth through output. Your job routine is going to change drastically. Sprint intervals will take the place of the marathon periods. Power hours will replace the all-nighters. The fixation with numbers will give way to an emphasis on quality. Because coordinated action moves mountains and busy labor moves pebbles, you'll accomplish more in 3 concentrated hours than you used to in 12 fragmented ones. The ancestors who have been following your path are getting ready to reveal themselves through indicators that are so clear you can't ignore them as coincidence. That series of numbers that keeps coming up, that tune that comes on just when you need it, that sign that appears everywhere you turn, these are not arbitrary. They serve as cosmic affirmation that you are being led by a higher intelligence than your own. The souls in your immediate vicinity will either elevate themselves to your new frequency or disengage from your experience. The cosmos is clearing out relationships that demand you to dull your light in order to make room for those that honor your ascension. This isn't a loss. This is a cosmic restructuring that is intended to envelop you in energy that intensifies rather than diminishes. The artistic endeavors that have been brewing in your mind are about to come to life at a moment so precise that it will appear as though they were planned by an intellect that is far superior to human. The book, business, idea, and solution that have been growing in the background of your consciousness are about to take center stage, and the audience is ready to hear exactly what you have been creating. The transition from warrior to ruler is literal, not merely symbolic. The frequency of your neurological system is shifting from survival to prosperity. Your cellular structure is changing to accommodate energy that would have been too much for your old setup. Dormant genes in your DNA are being activated in anticipation of this precise moment of preparation. The mystery health problems are about to go away as your body adjusts to your new energetic signature. You're not just recovering, you're changing, and the energy that returns to your system will be more than anything you've had even as a young person. The celestial energies that wish to work through you are being more precisely channeled through your physical form. What has been a bearable but uninspired living condition is about to change into a setting that truly supports your evolving self. The universe is aware that chosen ones need more than simply practical space to survive. They also need sacred space to function from. The house that awaits you has been planned to boost your vitality and act as a springboard for influence that reaches well beyond its boundaries. You're going to learn how to do things more easily, how to take a supplement that works for you in a different way than it does for others, how to maximize your productivity with an irregular schedule, and how to communicate in a way that works where others have failed. Your special operating manual, the particular set of circumstances that enable your superhuman abilities, will soon be revealed by the universe. When someone's energy no longer aligns with yours, they will either naturally drift away or cause circumstances that make their removal justified. This isn't a loss. In order to make relationships that can genuinely support your elevation, space must be removed. The momentary lonesomeness you may experience is simply the transition from letting go of what no longer serves to obtaining what is precisely in alignment. It's revolutionizing your connection with time itself. The profound understanding that divine timing is perfect timing is replacing the sense of urgency that has been driving you, the worry that delays entail denials, and the idea that you are running out of opportunities. Nothing that is intended for you may be taken, lost, or given to another person. The upcoming abundance is multifaceted and not just material. The riches is not merely monetary, it is vital. The success is spiritual as well as professional. The acknowledgement is cosmic rather than merely public. All of your efforts are culminating in a period of such profound change that your before and after will appear to be two distinct incarnations. People whose resources and expertise precisely match your goals and whose dedication to your success comes from their understanding of what you stand for are part of the network of support that is rallying around you. These connections go beyond business. These are heavenly appointments that have been planned since the day you were born, soul contracts that are activating, and cosmic alliances that are coming online. You're gaining expertise over more than just success management. The goal is to embody a new way of being that shows what is possible when cosmic intelligence and human consciousness align. The remainder of defeat isn't what you're being urged to embrace. The other person realizes that the subsequent stage calls for a whole different kind of energy. The universe is urging you to start flowing with the river instead of pushing it, to begin passing through doors that are swinging open and to cease pushing doors, to begin occupying your value and cease proving it, because sovereign consciousness sees rest as preparation for gaining unheard of power, while warrior consciousness views rest as vulnerability. This shift feels risky. You're going to become incredibly popular in unexpected ways, not only prosperous, but also adored, not only esteemed, but honored. You are on the verge of being magnetic to the right tribe with the same intensity that made some people uneasy. Your eccentricity turns into your fortune. Your passions turn into chances for you. Your superpower is your sensitivity. Your crippling perfectionism is going to give way to precision that works for you. You will learn to iterate quickly, adapt dynamically, and improve exponentially rather than expecting perfect execution before acting. The joy of creating discoveries takes the place of the dread of making blunders. Every mistake turns into data. Every setback serves as feedback. Every failure serves as a prelude to something bigger. Observe how your exterior environment changes to reflect your interior transformation. Individuals that have been depleting your energy may either change how they behave or stop participating in your activities. Distractions from your actual path will either become apparent or situations that have been causing friction will resolve easily. When obstacles appear unyielding, they either melt or turn out to be illusions caused by the angle you were looking at them. What the current version of you is about to experience is beyond the capacity of the version of you that started this adventure. The potential for abundance that is coming via grace is a result of the expansion you have experienced through resistance. In reality, every breakdown was a covert breakthrough. Every failure served as a prelude to something bigger than you could have ever dreamed at the time. Your soul selected this particular series of difficulties and victories because it was certain that you could not only make it through the journey, but also change into a person capable of handling previously unheard of heights of responsibility. A collaborative masterwork, including participants you were unaware existed, is about to emerge from the endeavor that initially felt like a lonely adventure. The Chosen One is starting the celebration. The table that has been set for you during your conflicts is more than just a symbolic one. It is the physical manifestation of an energetic reality. Everything you've been striving for is served at the feast, along with things you were unaware to ask for. The materials that accompany the recognition will increase your influence beyond your wildest expectations. However, none of this is understandable, controllable, or demandable. Only a person who is shrewd enough to recognize when the fighting season is done and the rejoicing season has begun can accept it. The procession held in their honor is missed by the warrior who does not put down his weapons when peace is declared. The exact abundance they have been striving to create is lost on the selected one who is unable to switch from earning mode to receiving mode. Glowing star yearning to witness God's miracles firsthand? Plant your spiritual seed now by contributing $100 or more through the YouTube Super Thanks button. Your offering lights the path for others and echoes through His divine plan, bringing His light into every step you take. The silence before your triumph parade starts is as significant as the silence before dawn that greeted this message. However, you now recognize the distinction. The fatigue that got you to this point wasn't a sign of your limitations. It demonstrated your readiness to get what other people strive for their entire lives. The universe has been waiting for you to arrive at this very moment of readiness, this ideal meeting place between faith and fatigue. This exact turning point between rest and strategy and submission and strength. Not because you've earned it, but because you've become mature enough to accept it. Everything you've been working for is about to come to pass. Here, where willpower meets fate, the selected ones always know one another. Your journey does not end with what you're going through. You're graduating into a world where your dreams are fighting for you rather than you having to fight for them. Not because the battles are lost, but because the war is won. You can now hang the sword you've held so assiduously on the wall of your palace. Chosen One, the universe is prepared when you are. And now you're prepared. Since you first determined that ordinary wasn't enough, that impossible was simply another word for unproven, and that your aspirations deserved more than wishful thinking, the celebration that starts in 30 minutes has been developing. Take control of your own destiny. Take pride in your abundance. Get your credit. Atomic clocks look careless in comparison to the precision with which the universe has been preparing for this moment. Now, all you have to do is be present enough to get what is already yours, prudent enough to take a break when triumph is certain, and powerful enough to rejoice when the world gives you a party that has been planned for decades. It's getting quiet. The festivities are about to start. The abundance is on its way. Greetings from your chosen reality. Greetings from home.